Well, hello, good morning everybody. Welcome back. Jiu-Jitsu 2000 here today. I'm back and today I have an interesting video for you. I have a very budget-friendly but yet still high-quality LED rechargeable flashlight from WOWTAC. Now this is a brand new model that they just released for 2020. I'm very pleased to announce model A7 in cool white. Now at the time of me filming this video review of this flashlight, the current price point is around $30. Let's open this package up and let's see what's included with this flashlight. The first thing that you see right off the bat is the owner's manual, which is very clearly written in several different languages. It unfolds like a book, just like that. So what we want to do is we want to go on over to the English section and take a quick look at the technical parameters. This will give us all the specifications of the flashlight. And if you want to hang on to this information for a little bit longer, feel free to pause your screen. Otherwise, I'm going to move on and continue with this review. Here is the contact information for WOWTAC. Let's go ahead and see what else is included. We see a small package of silica gel. We're going to set that aside. There's a small plastic bag here. And in this bag you can see two replacement rubber O-rings. There's also a rubber micro USB charging port replacement cover. So I thought that it was really nice that they included these extras with this flashlight. This will help increase the longevity of this light. In this plastic bag you can see there is a steel pocket clip. Now I like this pocket clip. It's strong, it's lightweight, and it has good retention. It's easy to install. The next thing that we see is the USB 2 to micro USB charging cable. Now I use an Android phone, so this is the same exact cable that I can use to charge my phone as well as this flashlight here. So the cool thing about this cable is you can use this to charge your phone at home on your wall outlet. You can use your laptop computer. And then let's say, for example, we're going to hook up the boat and go out to the lake for the day. It's nice weather, so we can use this also to charge our phone or our flashlight in the truck on the way to the lake. Now we're out there on the water, it's a beautiful day, we have our solar panel, and we're continuing to charge our devices out there on the lake. And then the cloud coverage rolls in, so now we can bust out our battery bank and continue charging. So this is a very good option. I like that they include this in the package with this flashlight. Now last but not least is the flashlight itself, which is in the package here, and this is what I think a lot of you guys clicked on this video to come see. Let's take a first look at this WOWTAC model A7. So there's a look at the head of the flashlight. You can see the switch has a stainless steel cover or bezel around it. The battery tube is nice and knurled. You can see a little bit of scraping and a little bit of damage. I've already been playing with this flashlight quite a bit. Right here you can see that the tail cap switch is knurled. The tail cap switch also has two different holes where you could attach lanyards. And the tail cap switch has a nice solid firm rubber switch that can be used as a momentary or a constant on. Now looking at the back side of the head of the flashlight, you can see the micro USB charging port cover that comes off of the port just like that, and then you could plug in your micro USB cable into that and charge the flashlight. The side of the head of the flashlight has nice little heat dissipators. I like that they put that there because this flashlight puts out a lot of light, and it's a small compact design, so this result of that is it does create a little bit of heat So it's good that they put those dissipators there to help reduce heat on the head of the flashlight. Now if you look at the strike bezel, it's a mildly aggressive strike bezel. The lens itself is made out of glass. The reflector inside is smooth, and this flashlight runs on a Cree XPL-HI LED. So it's a nice smooth reflector, glass lens, and a mildly aggressive strike bezel. Now if you want to take this light and you want to compare it to the previous model of the A1S, which was also the $30 price point, you can see that the A7 is about an inch shorter in length than the A1S, and it's also thinner in diameter than the A1S. It's lighter as well. Let's take a quick moment and install the pocket clip on the light. So you can just correspond right here to the battery tube. There's a spot for the pocket clip, and you just shove that baby on just like that. It's very easy to install, and that's all there is to it. This creates a nice carry on your pocket with about 3/4 of an inch hanging out of your pocket. When you first get your flashlight from the factory and you try to push the tail cap switch to turn the light on, you'll notice that nothing happens. The reason nothing is happening is because these flashlights are shipped from the factory in manual lockout mode. That's the same mode that you would want to put your flashlight in if you're going to throw it in a backpack and go on a hike. So there's two things that you want to check to make sure that you bring it back to normal operation, and that is tightening the tail cap switch to the battery tube and making sure that the battery tube is also tight towards the head of the flashlight. So let's start right here. You can see me tightening the tail cap switch to the battery tube. There we go. Now let's move up here and turn the battery tube to the head of the flashlight, and you can see that is all tight. Okay, so once everything's tight, we can turn on the flashlight and it will work as intended. It will also be able to be charged at this point by removing the charging port cover and exposing the micro USB charging port. If you plug in your charging cord and you see a flashing purple indicator, there's two things that could cause that. The first thing is the lockout mode that I just spoke of, and the second thing is a new thing that they're doing with these flashlights. Now you want to pay close attention to this. It's very simple. Let me go ahead and plug in my cord here. Now you'll see I have a purple indicator. I have the battery tube tight and I have the tail cap switch tight. The reason I'm getting this purple indicator is because now to charge this new A7 you have to push the tail cap switch, and look at that. Now we start into charging. Red indicator, and we will let this charge again until it turns blue. Blue will tell us that our charging is complete. Now during this stage of charging, you can operate the light under two modes. You can do Firefly mode, which is half of a lumen for 108 days, or you can use low mode of 12 lumens for 108 hours or 4.5 days. So let's go like that. There is Firefly mode and there is low. So those are the only two options that are available while charging your light. If you do the tail cap switch, you'll notice that we lose our charging ability again. We get that purple indicator. And one more time, if we're in manual lockout mode and we try to charge the light, we can get that indicator. And if we turn the tail cap switch on, we're still getting it because we're in manual lockout mode. So you got to make sure those three things are happening. Tight the tail cap switch tight to the battery tube tight to the head, and click the switch. That'll get you into charging. As you can see, our charging indicator has now turned blue, so charging is complete. I want to take a look at the tail cap switch and see. I just want to take a good look at it, see what it looks like here. It's got a nice firm spring. I like that. Looks like a good quality switch there. Also, want to take a close look at the battery, which is included. It's a 18650 battery, 3.6 volts, 9.36 watt hours, high discharge performance lithium-ion rechargeable battery. This number represents the capacity of which this battery will hold. It is clear indicators of positive and negative here, so you can see the nice positive button top and the nice negative side. So the battery is nice, but the capacity of the battery is pretty low. The A1S came with a 3400 milliamp hour battery. It was a $30 price point. Okay. And we loved that. Then you got the A2S, which was the headlamp. That also had a $30 price point, and it also came with a 3400 milliamp hour battery. When they came out with the A6, which is a fabulous flashlight, it was also the $30 price point, but they reduced the battery down to 2600 on this one, as well as the A7. I would hope that WOWTAC would listen and go back to what brought us here to begin with, which was a fine product at a good price point. I mean, if you look at the A1, not the A1S, but the A1, this light has a $20 price point. It's a fabulous light, and look, 2600 milliamp hour on the battery. Just wish they would include a higher capacity battery. There is not another area to reverse the pocket clip to a different orientation. So what we would do in the past is we would unscrew the battery tube, we would flip the battery tube, and we would screw this thing back together, and that would let us change orientation of the pocket clip. And the reason we wanted to do that is so that we could put this on our bill of our hat, or our hard hat bill, and we could use that as a headlamp. Now this light is getting smaller and lighter, so it makes the possibility of doing that even higher. But look, when you switch this around and you put the battery in, even though things appear to be working, the flashlight does not come on, and that's a huge disappointment. Previous models of lights, and let's just go straight out to what I'm talking about. If you look at my A1 and my A1S, look at the orientation of the battery, or the pocket clip there. It's different orientations because you could change the battery tube. So I wish that WOWTAC would go back to doing that, because we love that. Now right here you can see the O-ring right there, and you can see the second O-ring right there. And those O-rings are what give us the IPX8 waterproof standard of this flashlight that we all love. Let's take a closer look at the head of the flashlight. Looks like a solid build. Very nice construction there. There is like a half press momentary kind of thing. See that? It's a silent option. See the light coming on there? So you can do that, but it's all momentary. And if you want to turn the light on, you actually have to go through with that click. Now if you're hunting or something like that, that click might be a downside to you. Personally, I don't mind it. I like this switch. I've had these older lights for a long time, and those switches are good. I like them. So the first mode of operation is Firefly. This is half of a lumen, and on this setting this will last for 108 days. Now that's a major improvement, huge improvement. I love that they listened to us and that they did that. Now to cycle through the modes, once you're turned on, you just do everything right here. You just press the button, low, medium, high, turbo, back to Firefly. We'll go to low for a second. That's 12 lumens. 12 lumens for 108 hours. If you want to convert that into days, that's 4.5 days. Then if you go here, look at that. Single press goes back to Firefly. I don't really know what to think about that yet. If you wait in a certain mode for a few seconds and then you push the button again, it does not continue to cycle through the modes. It goes back to Firefly. Now it's cool if you're trying to save battery life or something like that. Okay, so now let's go check out medium. So we got low. There's medium. Medium is 65 lumens, 20 hours of runtime. I think I'm going to be doing medium quite a bit. You'll also notice the battery level indicator here. Blue means the battery's good, red means the battery's dying. So that's pretty cool. And that indicator will work on all modes except Firefly. So if you see me single press, it goes back to Firefly. That indicator goes away. So let's go low, medium, Let's try high. High is 296 lumens, 4 hours of runtime. Firefly, low, medium, high, turbo. Turbo is 1047 lumens, and it'll last for 2 minutes, and then it'll slowly drop down to high, and once it gets down to high, it'll last for an additional 240 minutes or 4 more hours of runtime. Now the step down on this, it's pretty good. It doesn't step down rapidly. It steps down really slow. So I really like what they've done here with this turbo setting. Then if I press and hold the button, I will get a strobe. The strobe is 296 lumens, and the strobe will last for 9 hours. Single press, back to Firefly. Now the flashlight does have a memory, and it will remember the last setting that you were on, all of the settings with the exception of strobe. It does not remember strobe. The micro USB charging port, we've all known for a long time that I'm not a big fan of that. I just don't think that an IPX8 rating of waterproofness should be hinged on whether a flap is down or not. I'm falling out of the boat, and this thing gets hung up on my sleeve or something as I'm falling out, and when I fall in the water, something like that happens, I've just compromised my waterproofness of my light. I don't like that. I don't like that one bit. I like the way the older lights were. They did not have this port. You did have to take this tail cap on and off to charge the battery. That was okay. O-rings to replace at the hardware store are cheap. You can wrap Teflon tape around that thing if you don't have an O-ring. The older way that they did the charging was excellent. A lot of people this day and age have battery chargers. I have several of them. So I really wish that they would get away from this. I know there's a lot of people that like it. You know, they don't get out on boats and stuff like that. And for them, if it's working for them, good for them. But it's not something that I'm a big fan of. This is easy to take off, actually. You can just pull, and that thing will pop right off. And now look at what you got. You have an exposed port, and we do not need water getting in there. That's going to be terrible if you start getting water in there. Look at that. I just really wish they'd get away from that. But they like it, so apparently they're going to keep making them that way. Now, if you purchase one of these flashlights on Amazon and you do a photo review or a video review and you give them a rating, you can apply for a brand new free WOWTAC Model A1. So what you'll need to do is when you purchase the light, you got to make sure that the light that you're purchasing on Amazon, on the top left corner of the photo, there will be a WOWTAC logo. If you're not buying that one, I don't know if they would give you the free A1 for doing your video review or your photo review, you know. So make sure that it shows that logo, top left corner of the thing. Once you do your review, whether it's a video review or a picture review on Amazon, you can send an email to review@wowtac.com and you can choose either a free A1 or a single 20% one-time off coupon. Personally, I'd probably take the A1. That's a pretty good deal. They have a very good after-sale service plan. So after you purchase the light, you have 2 years of maintenance service that you can get on your flashlight. So if you have any problems, 2 years after the date of purchase, you can send the light to WOWTAC. You will have to pay the shipping. If there's any parts needed, you pay for the parts and you pay for the shipping back. There it is, dropping it in the water, pulling it out, and let's cycle through the modes. Firefly, low, medium, high, turbo. Let's push and hold for strobe. Okay, looks like it's working pretty good. Back to Firefly, turn it off, turn it on. So it definitely passes the IPX8 waterproof standard. This thing is impact resistant down to 1.5 meters. However, I'm not going to do that today in this video. I paid for this with my own money, and I don't feel like dropping this thing, a perfectly good flashlight. Well, I'm out here in the shop, I am on Firefly mode. This is half of a lumen. I love this setting. This will last 108 days. Half of a lumen. So this is a perfect setting for looking in your pack, you know, maybe walking around camp, leaving it on as a nightlight, stuff like that. This is a really, really good setting. If you got a little wound and you don't want to put too much light on the subject, Firefly is awesome. I mean, you can look for a splinter or things like that, first aid type stuff. You will notice that the battery level indicator will not turn on in Firefly mode. It'll only turn on in every mode but this one. So to change modes again, we're going to single press. Now we're bumping up to low, 12 lumens, 108 hours of runtime. That's 4.5 days, and that's a good setting. Now you'll see the battery level indicator is lit up, so that's pretty cool. I don't like that when I single press after being in a mode for a while that it goes back to Firefly. That's kind of frustrating, but it is what it is with the UI of this flashlight. So let's go ahead and there's low. Let's go back up to medium now. Medium is 65 lumens for 20 hours of runtime. I think that this is going to be a good setting to use for a lot of things. If you're going to walk your dog, you're going to walk down the park, walk on the beach, whatever you're doing, I think medium is going to be really, really good. Now let's go take a look and see what high looks like. So we've got to go back to Firefly. Low, medium. Now let's talk about high. 296 lumens for 4 hours of runtime. Now you can see that the beam has a nice tight hot spot and a lot of flood, so it's a nice balanced tight beam. I really like that. Let's go to turbo. Okay, so there's Firefly, low, medium, high, turbo, 1047 lumens for 2 minutes. And then to prevent overheating, it will slowly go down to high for an additional 240 minutes, which is 4 hours of runtime. Now on this setting, it's got 268 meters of throw. This is a really nice setting. The head of the light gets hot. So if you live in a cold climate, maybe you're Canadian or Alaskan, or you live up in Utah or something where there's a lot of snow, you might like this. Now let's take a look at the strobe by pressing and holding. There is the strobe, 296 lumens. This strobe will last for 9 hours. I really like that. I know that there's going to be a lot of people asking me if I would recommend this light, so I'll address that right out the gate. Yes, I would recommend this light. There are a lot of good things about this light, and there are some things that I wish would change. When I criticize a product as a flashlight reviewer, I don't do it in an effort to tear the company down or to make myself feel better or anything like that. I do it because I feel that if the company can listen to some of the reviewers, ultimately they can make these changes to their products, and we all get to benefit as a result by having them offer better products. So that's why I'm getting kind of nitpicky on things like this. This light will tail stand very well. A little bit hard to do on a Shema here, but I can set this thing on my bedside table and have a nice night light. I love the beam pattern that this light has. It's a very balanced beam. It's got a nice tight hot spot in the middle, and it's a pretty good thrower for the size that it is. I also like the fact that this light is small. It's compact. It's lighter. It's shorter. It's just a really good size EDC light. I don't like the fact that you have to push the power switch to get it to charge. Most of us that are flashlight enthusiasts have battery chargers that we use to charge our batteries. For someone that's not going to be going out on a boat, yeah, they probably would love this. But personally, if you're going to put an IPX8 standard on a light, I don't like that standard being based on whether this piece of rubber is in place or not. I love that this thing has Firefly mode. It's amazing. half a lumen for 108 days, and it's effective. They've done a good job on that. Now the mode spacing between high and turbo, I think they could improve in that category a little bit, because high is 296 lumens and then it jumps all the way up to turbo of 1047. So if they could maybe change the mode spacing a bit, maybe make high like 600 or something and then jump up to turbo, that'd be nice. These are just some recommendations. I like this light overall though, I really do. They are really knocking on the door of having a perfect flashlight here, and there's just these few little nuances that are driving me crazy. Now, people that probably don't do a lot around water, maybe they live in an urban situation in a big city or something and they're not going to be on a boat, they probably love this because it's convenient. You can plug that baby in right there. But that's not something that I personally like. I know there's other YouTubers that thrive on this, but not me. I'm about survival. I'm about, if you want to advertise IPX8, you don't need to rely on a piece of rubber to keep that rating. That's just my opinion. So folks, I want to say thank you for joining me today on this video. I hope that you got some good useful information out of this video. Please make sure that you're checking the description box down below, because I'll be putting links down there where you can find all the information that you need to find about this WOWTAC A7. Please feel free to leave your comments down below. Stay tuned for a direct comparison between these two flashlights. I'm going to compare them because they're both in the $30 price point. If you want to stay tuned for that video, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Click that notification bell. That way you don't miss it when it comes up. Folks, again, thank you for stopping by. Hope you enjoyed this video. Have a beautiful day. We'll see you next time. Bye for now.